Hello and welcome to another episode of Killer Ant Reviews. Today we'll be talking about Star Wars: The Joiner King. This is basically called like the Dark Nest trilogy. And overall, I am actually very mixed on this book. So I'm just going to go over the cover. This cover was the reason why I actually bought this. I was actually at a kind of a thrift store bookstore. And it was they had a few Star Wars books. They had a couple of Bounty Hunter ones, and ultimately, when I saw this cover and the cover to the other two, that's the reason why I picked it up. Overall, it's just okay. Basically, I'm not really familiar with like the expanded universes in the books. I only read the Truth of Bakura, and I've read a few other like information about it. Like they had a couple other books that expand a little bit on the expanded universe. But I'm not too familiar with it. But basically, in this universe, not the Disney Star Wars universe that they keep messing up in the movies. TV shows are really good though. Basically, it's a bunch of Jedi's, and a few disappeared, including I believe like Han and Leia's kids. So they have to like investigate this place. They actually had a bunch of, basically a couple of nests of bugs to different nations. What I actually did like is the culture of one of the bugs. Like at one point, a bunch of bugs started unloading things off the Millennium Falcon, and Han Solo had to keep grabbing the stuff and putting it back in. And apparently, that's how they do it. They take stuff that they want, and if you don't want to take it, you just take it and put it back in, and you keep doing it until like both sides are satisfied. I thought that was kind of nifty. The plot itself is very, very clunky, however. It jumps around, and at parts I was a little lost. It's like, okay, what's going on here? They did have they do have characters like who's who and near the beginning, so you actually know where's what. Like right here. So at least I can figure out which character is which. And they did have some decent characters. Other characters they definitely butchered. Han Solo was the biggest character they butchered, even though he's on the cover. I felt like half his lines was him wanting to draw his gun and start shooting everything. And that ended up being like the one note he was, like especially in the beginning and the middle. He's like, let me just take out my gun and shoot it. And then like everyone's like, no! Bad idea. And he just keeps trying to do that. And I'm like, yeah, it's not really Han Solo. I don't think they got what he is about. They did get Leia and Luke pretty good. They did have some really cool fights. They had, I think, one of the lizard creatures. I don't know what they're called offhand. But they had like a lizard creature Jedi who ended up fighting someone, which, despite getting her butt kicked, she also gave it back pretty good, and that entire fight scene was actually pretty awesome. But like I said, some of the characters were not represented well, and the whole plot was kind of clunky, especially when it came to the politics. There's also something else in this book too, because even though it looks pretty long, like over 500 pages, that is actually not how long it is, because there's a good chunk of this book is basically an advertisement for another book. I think about like 50, 75 pages is dedicated to another book. So it's going through, it's like, wait, that's the end? Because which I'm not a huge fan of. I mean, I like the little teasers. Like here's 10 pages of like just teasing the next book. I know I've read a few that did that, and I don't really mind that, but this is just a humongous chunk of it. So it looks like it felt like it was just padding the book to make it feel longer, make it feel a little more epic. What would I give this book? 5.5. Like I said, it was just average. They were very clunky with the characters, the plot. Despite some really good scenes, just couldn't save it. I am going to read the other two. I did buy it. I'm just going to gonna go ahead and read it. And well, that's basically all I have for now. So until next time, this is Killer Ant.